Welcome to week 4 of A Year of Angels, 52 journal prompts to strengthen your connection to angels. On week 4, we're talking all about how to incorporate the angels into our daily life, the things that we can do to remind ourselves that we're going to take the time to reflect and feel and connect with those angels that we know want to help us, but sometimes we just haven't made it a part of our daily routine. This whole thing might be very, very new to you, and we've got to really put some things in place here that are going to make it so that we can't forget to connect with those angels and to hear their inspiration. So right here in the book, when you go to week 4, you're going to see key points. And in these key points, I think it's pretty well laid out. Some very simple things that we can do to incorporate them into our daily life. The first one that's listed here is called create angelic triggers. Now, when you think of triggers, we think, oh man, that really triggered me. It's usually quite negative, but honestly, you can create a trigger that's positive and not just about angels, but a lot of things. But in this case, we're talking about angels, angelic triggers. So some of those things we'll be talking about this all year long, but numbers, we've talked about the angel number 11 when we talked about signs last week. I use the number 11 to trigger me to connect with my angels. I take a moment when I see that number, not constantly every single time, but kind of a lot I do. And so I go, oh, the angel number 11. And I just think, is there anything that I need to hear? And usually an idea will come very, very quickly of something I need to think of. So that is an easy one right there that everybody can do. Now, we can also use music and songs. So this is a little bit different than last week when we talked about signs, where maybe your grandma will come to you with a specific song and like she kind of chose it, or it's something that meant the same to you. In this case, we're talking about something that you were going to do in your life that you have control of. You don't need to wait for. You're going to actively do and use. And so you're going to choose a song of some sort, if you'd like, to remind you that when you're listening to this song, and maybe you do this every single day, or maybe it's just a type of music you want to listen to at least for a little bit every single day during your times of meditation, or while you're in the bath, or maybe when you're taking a walk, and you say, when I listen to this song, this is a song that I think about my angels. I really connect this way. So that's active. That's something you're proactively doing, not just waiting to have show up for you. Landmarks. It talks about this in the book too, that we can look for landmarks. Maybe it's a particular tree that you always see. For me, a landmark, it could be, a building or something like that too, but it could just be something that's just out in nature, something that you might see often. Whenever I go past a juniper, I think it's called a juniper berry bush or tree, and there's this very distinct smell to that, I absolutely think of my grandfather every single time, because I feel like he always had those at his house, and it's just a core memory. I smell that and I think of my grandfather. So that could be something. If you plant a bush, maybe I should plant a bush. Plant something that might remind you of them, or bring in some smells and things like this of your past loved ones. And if it's there, you're quite often going to be thinking of that and keeping your mind connected to that spiritual realm. Because remember, the spiritual realm is where all the answers are, all the guidance, all the support and love that you need. So yes, we do want to trigger quite often our thoughts to be connected to that spiritual realm. Okay, and then it says use tactile reminders. So this is things like jewelry, maybe some healing crystals. A lot of people like to wear like a necklace or something that maybe has a crystal in it, or maybe it's like angel jewelry, or again, could be a string of pearls or something that you have from your grandmother. That's not where these are from, but maybe you have something like that. Some tactile reminders, maybe it's a ring or something like that you're seeing regularly throughout the day, so that you almost can't not think about it because you're seeing that reminder all the time. Okay, and then I want you to think about how maybe some end of the day reflections, or maybe it's at the beginning of the day. In the book it lists it as an end of the day reflection, which I think is important, to take a minute to look back on how many times the angels did did support you throughout that day, because sometimes we don't always see it in the minute, but we can look back on it. But have an end of the day reflection time where you are saying, angels, it's the end of the day. Show me anything that I may need to see, that I need to reflect back on. Show me anything that I might want to know or see for tomorrow that could be guiding me, that I might miss if I wasn't taking this moment to connect right now. And so that again is something that isn't coming to you. It is something that you are creating in your life, that space, that time, bringing in those objects, choosing that music, or even choosing numbers, it doesn't have to be 11, guys, it can actually be any number, and just choosing something that you say, when I see that number, that's going to be the one. Maybe it's your favorite number, but that's going to be the number that I look at, and I'm going to connect with my angels in that moment. So the journal prompt for this week says, what types of reminders will you use to connect with your angels throughout your daily activities? And that's where we want to capture it and write it down in the journal so that it's really yours. And of course, you can come back to this when you come up with more later. But when we capture it here, I swear to you, the angels just love it when we write stuff down. That's why I created this journal, a place to write things down that you know it's there, they know it's there, and it just strengthens that connection of communication. So write those things down. Don't feel like you have to fill up all the pages today. You can come back to this and it can just always be here for you. And when you're really feeling down, isn't it cool that you have this journal, that when you're feeling down, you can come back and look at these things and be reminded, because this very journal is one of those things that we can use in our daily life to connect with our angels. So I hope you have fun this week figuring out how you are going to incorporate your angels in your daily life. And then join me for next week, week 5, when we talk about how to ask the angels for help. So we'll see you then.